Hello again everybody, it's Michael here for Tactica Imperialis. As I've said in a couple of descriptions, I've got something new for you guys today. This video is going to talk tactics really, talking about certain army compositions that you may come across and you may need to defeat. The first one I want to talk about is the Death Star unit. A Death Star is the sort of unit that costs a huge amount of points but can do a huge amount of damage to an opponent if it can get into melee or get in position, whatever it's designed to do. Most are built on durability and hitting power. Some of them have a speed base and some have psychic bases. The two I'm going to come on to today are very much the durable kind. They are the Drago Wing and the Logan Wing. Both are Terminator Death Stars built around a named HQ. The Drago Wing is built around Kaldor Drago, Chapter Master of the Grey Knights. He has the special rule to make Grey Knight Paladins troops. Paladins are Terminators who have two wounds, which makes them twice as tough to kill as a normal Terminator. Plus, they have options for Chapter Banners or Apothecaries for Feel No Pain, and a variety of force weapons that can help them do their job, such as Falchions for extra attacks, Halberds for extra initiative, Demon Hammers for tanks, and the basic Force Sword for... I'm not sure what that does. And the problem that most people have with the Drago Wing is that it's so hard to put down, because 2 wounds, Feel No Pain, Terminator armor, you even have access to 1 Nemesis warding stave when you give that model a 2+ invulnerable save in melee, so you can just accept a challenge and lock a character down for ages. Drago himself has a Storm Shield and a Demon Bane sword, which allows him to strike at strength 10 against demons. He possibly has a boost against psychers as well. This also has access to the Grey Knight psychic powers, such as Hammer Hand for increased strength, and possibly to other disciplines, which I'm not sure. I haven't seen the FAQs for the psychic powers being transferred. You can also add Librarians in here for more psychic power, or you can add Brotherhood Champions for challenges, whatever takes your fancy. And the problem that people will have is that they can't kill it fast enough. It has 2 wounds, obviously, as I said, 2+ armor, you can't put it down. And with Feel No Pain, they're even tougher. The best thing I can say about the Drago Wing is it's very, very expensive. Terminators, as we know, are 30, 40 points a model, more when you start paying for the extra Nemesis weapons. Drago himself is over 200 points, Apothecaries are 30 or something, so it adds up very fast, so you have a good chance that you're going to outnumber this army massively. And that's brilliant, because you can use large squads if you're playing Nids, Orcs and Guard to bog the Drago Wing down, or you can use faster units and just run around and dominate the board. Because while Paladins are troops, they can only hold 1 objective at a time. They're not big enough to stretch out and take 2. So you can easily just, on larger objective games, claim all the other objectives, take Linebreaker. You'll struggle with First Blood and Slay the Warlord, I admit, but you can dominate the rest of the board, kill the rest of his units, and just basically force the Drago Wing to an unenviable position of not being able to win. Don't try and crash into it headlong unless you have a unit that you know can kill it, or at the very least hold it up. Because things like the Tyranid Swarmlord, you might think, oh, I'm laughing, until you run into Nemesis weapons. Because Nemesis Force weapons have boosts against Psychers, and so are murder to Psychers like the Swarmlord. Whereas more dedicated, pure melee units with lots of good invulnerable saves, lots of good numbers, can really hold up this Death Star. And the longer it's held still, yes, it's killing stuff, but it's killing stuff it doesn't need to kill. It needs to be killing everything else. So flyers, it can't hurt them. I should warn you though, commonly the Drago Wing is run alongside Inquisitor Kotiaz, who gives prescience and other divination powers. He also seems to run alongside Dreadnoughts with autocannons, known as Psyform Dreadnoughts for Psycannon autocannons or something like that. And they are really good at killing flyers. So you can run the rings around it if you're clever, but don't bank on it winning you the game. The other one is the Logan Wing. This is tougher, but weaker, because it is composed of Thunderhammer and Storm Shield Terminators, or possibly Chain Fist. Thunderhammers, as we know, are very powerful but very slow. They have unwieldy and double strength. Chain Fist the same. The Storm Shield increases the invulnerable save from 5+ to 3+, meaning that they're a lot more durable, but they only have 1 wound, bear that in mind. But they gain for it counterattack, and Logan Grimnar, their chapter master who makes Wolfguard Terminator troops, can give them rules like Preferred Enemy or Tank Hunter, which means that they can go into a melee, choose to have Preferred Enemy, and bang, crash into a really powerful walker, choose Tank Hunter, bang. So this is even harder to kill headlong because they can get extra hits in despite having less attacks. Arjak Rockfist, who is an upgrade character for this squad, has a Storm Shield, a throwable Thunder Hammer, Eternal Warrior, and he has access to re-rolling hits in challenges. He's very good at locking down powerful characters. You can kill him, he only has 2 wounds, but he's still going to be tough, and you can't just insta-kill him with things like Force Weapons. Logan, I think, has Eternal Warrior, but he has only got a 4+ invulnerable save, so you want him somewhere out of the front line, so where he can do damage, but where he's not going to be sniped off, because he's the easiest to kill in that squad, believe it or not. The problem, again, that the Logan Wing has compared to the Drago Wing is its size and manoeuvrability. Both these units are incredibly expensive, incredibly slow, and incredibly small. So again, you can play board control. You do have to be wary of things like Vindicators or other units that can create holes. I haven't played the 2 head-to-head, so I don't know which is the better Death Star, which is the better unit, but I do have a feeling that given enough time, the Thunderhammers will win by default of being AP2, whereas the Paladins are only AP3 on the whole. So, yeah. The upshot of the Paladin Wing is it has a gun. The Logan Wing has no guns, whereas the Grey Knights all have wrist-mounted Stormbolters. And wrist-mounted Stormbolters, while it doesn't seem like much, can be exchanged for incinerators, what do you call them now? Silencers, Psy Cannons, all of which are really powerful heavy weapons that can cause great holes in infantry. They also have access to things like the Holocaust Power, which can, again, cause a lot of holes in a unit with a blast template, all weakening down the enemy. So, in a shooting war, I back the Paladin Wing. In a combat war, I think the Logan Wing edges it. This is the only sort of thing you can really hope to beat a Death Star with in pure melee, is another Death Star or a really powerful monster. Things like the Swarm Lord against the Logan Wing would be brilliant because of ignoring armor saves and all that. And the instant death of his bone savers, I think. I'm not quite sure, I need to check the NID Codex. So, for those of you who don't run Death Stars, I can suggest large numbers. I can suggest multiple small units, which is another tactic which I'm going to come on to in a later series. And I can suggest speed, because a Logan Wing, try as it might, will not keep up with Eldar jet bikes, Tau battle suits and what have you. Yes, it will catch up to your Fire Warriors or your Guardians in the end, but it can't kill them all. So you can run a 5-man squad over here, another 5-man squad somewhere over here, and you can't kill everything. So you're forcing him to make a decision, split up. Well, you can't split up. Bring Logan away, meaning he can be killed. You'll probably give up line break if you play the avoiding game, because they can walk across the board and they'll get there in 3 or 4 turns. But you can mitigate against this by claiming his kills, taking other objectives, claiming his line breaker, trying to get first blood if you can, and all around just harassing it. Stay out of charge range. So 24-inch range guns are just out of charge range for a Logan Wing. So they can stay back and kill it. The Paladin Wing, you don't have to worry about being shot back, but they're easier to kill because of the weakened invulnerables of things like plasma guns and las cannons. That's all for today. If you have any opinions, leave a like or a comment. My name is Michael and I'll see you again.